AS Business Paper 1 Question Selection. Selecting the correct essay questions on Paper 1 is absolutely crucial to success, and many students jump in too quickly and end up having to answer essay questions where they can't score the optimum marks. We're going to show you the best way of selecting questions and work through an example. This is just a small sample of the question selection guide available now on AS Business Essentials membership. So, let's get into it. In section B, paper 1, you've got a choice of 3 possible questions. Options 5 and 7 will be split into 2. Part A with the command word analyze and part B with the command word discuss. Option 6 is a 20-mark question essay. Take your time, analyze all options 5, 6 and 7 and both parts of 5 and 7, A and B. I can't overstate this enough. Take your time. Take deep breaths. Really examine the options. Spend at least a few minutes thinking through your choices and double checking you're comfortable with all parts of the questions. In the stress of the exam, it can be easy to rush into an A question that looks easy, but then part B gives you a nasty surprise.
Houston, we have a problem. You
might be an expert on market research, but not be so confident on market segmentation. Generally, I advise against the 20-mark option unless you're really confident writing extended essays. It takes a lot of skill to write an extended essay and keep every paragraph focused on the question. If you get the focus of this question wrong or go off on a tangent, there is the potential to lose out on half of the marks on this paper. With the A and B option in 5 and 7, the risk is diversified. Any mistake would be restricted to one answer. Having said that, it's always good to be prepared to do the 20-mark question. You may be really unlucky and face a situation where options 5 and 7 are not something you're comfortable with and the option 6 is the area of your expertise. Let me know in the comments the question you most dread coming up as an option on section B, paper 1. This is your essential channel for boosting your grades in A-level business, specifically for Cambridge International Examinations. If it's your first time here, please subscribe immediately to stay updated with the latest releases. We've got loads of A-level business goodness coming, so you don't want to miss out. So let's check out a few past papers so we can practice our AS Business Paper 1 question selection. So let's start by looking at question number 5. The first question asks for the role of small business in a country's economy. So this one is really straightforward. This is like a stock question which you'll see in lots of different exams. So we've just got to come up with a few different reasons, chains of analysis for why small businesses are important in a country's economy. So you can just think very quickly. Can you think of a number of reasons? Well, small businesses lead to increased employment. Small business lead to economic growth. Small businesses lead to innovation. The second part of the question is more complex. It's discuss. So we got to have 2 points of view. And it's the importance of communicating effectively objectives to the workforce, and we've got to make this specific for an expanding business. So this seems a reasonable question, but we just want to make sure that we can come up with a few reasons for and against why communicating objectives will be important. So for an expanding business, it'll be important to motivate the workforce so they can meet their growth objectives, and communicating the objectives will be really important for that. Also, an expanding business is likely to have lots of employees and managers, so they need to communicate those objectives clearly so everyone knows exactly what they're working towards. And then we can think about why it may not be so important, and that's where our context is really going to come in. It's when we think about an expanding business. So expanding businesses are going to have all the other problems of growth, which is having to reorganize how things are produced, having to employ more people and having to make sure there's coordination between all departments. That will logically lead to our evaluation on the importance of communicating objectives compared to other problems an expanding business will face. So this question number 5 seems very reasonable, but we're still going to carry on and check out the other questions. So question 6 is the 20 mark question. I generally advise not to go for the 20 mark questions unless you're really confident in answering the content and the context of this question. So the content for this one is going to be cash flow forecast. But we're comparing cash flow forecast against other important financial documents. So that could be the income statement or the statement of financial position. And we've got to have the context in there as well of a clothing retailer. So you got to know about selling clothes, clothes shops, and the fashion market. And just to make it a little bit more complicated, it's entering a new market. So you're going to have to think about the issues when entering a new market and also the opportunities. If you're very confident and you can explain what a cash flow forecast is, why it's important, and then go through the other financial documents and say why they're important and then come to a final conclusion, this could be the question for you. But for me, I am still preferring question number 5 at the moment. AS Business A-Star Essentials membership is now live. You can find guides for every type of question on paper 1 and paper 2, over 50 questions to practice on every topic in AS Business, each with their own exemplar solution, video, and essential skills guides. So let's have a look at question 7, where we must analyze the benefits to a business of focusing on staff morale and welfare. Now there's no particular context here to any particular type of business, it's just a business. So this one is general and very accessible. So we just think through, can we think of the different benefits of focusing on staff morale and welfare? Well, there's increased motivation, increased productivity, lower labor turnover, employees are more likely to give ideas and contribute to the firm's success. So there's any number of benefits that you could build chains of analysis on for this question. It's absolutely fine. However, when we look at the B question here, it's all based on David McClelland. And it's in the context of managers in a hospital, which is a little bit tricky because you might not be that familiar with what the managers of a hospital may be required to do. But the really difficult one here is David McClelland. So unless you're really familiar with the 3 McClelland motivational factors, which are achievement, affiliation, and authority, then I would definitely be skipping this question. And it's a really good example of how we can be lured in with the part A, only to find out in part B it's a really difficult question. So for this one, I go for 5 or 6, and I'd be pushed more towards 5 if you're confident in answering questions about objectives and the impact of a small business in a country's economy. That's paper 1 question selection done. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to spread the love with a subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.